July inflation battle. Energy and food tame core price surge. Inflation refused to budge in July, even though gasoline and groceries helped. But other costs surged behind the scenes. What really happened? Let's unpack July's inflation story layer by layer. Headline snapshot. July's inflation held firm at 2.7% year-over-year, narrowly missing forecasts of 2.8%. Energy costs, especially gasoline, fell. In contrast, core inflation, excluding food and energy, accelerated to 3.1%, the fastest pace since February. Energy and food. A mixed bag. The headline CPI rose just 0.2% for July, with energy pushing it down. Energy prices dipped 1.1%, gasoline alone dropped 2.2%. Meanwhile, the food index was flat. Groceries, food at home, fell slightly 0.1%, while dining out, food away, ticked up 0.3%. Core inflation tensions. Despite relief in energy and flat food prices, underlying pressures remain. Core CPI climbed 0.3% in July, an uptick from June. Key drivers include: airfares jumped 4%. Medical care, transport services, used cars, household goods all rose. This sustained surge in core inflation signals persistent cost pressures in the broader economy. Tariffs and tensions. Tariff policies continue to ripple through prices, from furniture and apparel to groceries. Analysts note that while businesses have partly shielded consumers through strategies like stockpiling, price pressures are gradually penetrating. Goldman Sachs expects tariffs to keep core CPI elevated through the end of 2025. Growth squeeze and stagflation fears. July data stirs up stagflation fears, an economic mix of stubborn inflation amid slowing growth. Weak jobs reports, sluggish consumer spending, contracting manufacturing indexes contribute to unease. Inflation pressures remain entrenched even as energy gives a reprieve. The Fed's dilemma. The Federal Reserve now faces a tricky balance. Should it hold rates steady to tame inflation, or hike to counter slowing growth? Most forecasters expect a September rate cut, but continued core strength may delay that. What lies ahead? If energy and food rebound, headline inflation may climb again. Tariff pass-through likely to keep core costs elevated. Fed will be watching labor market and growth indicators closely. Bottom line, July's data shows inflation won't fall quietly. In July, headline inflation stood its ground thanks to cheaper gas and steady groceries. But lurking beneath is a surge in core prices that policymakers can't ignore. If you want to stay ahead of how tariffs, wages, and policy decisions shape inflation, hit subscribe, and we'll keep watching the pressure points together. Thank you.